There's a habit you have, a habit that silently makes people see you as less. And the worst part? You don't even realize you're doing it. It doesn't sound like a mistake. It doesn't feel like one. In fact, it feels exactly like the right thing to do. You think you're being engaged, present, respectful. But in reality, you're giving away control of the conversation, one gesture at a time. This is what I call reactive behavior. And today, you'll understand exactly what it is, what it causes, and most importantly, how to stop. Watch yourself the next time you're in a conversation. Not when you're speaking, but when you're listening. That's where it happens. You nod too quickly. You react too soon. Your body shifts. You adjust your posture. You mirror every move the other person makes. You say things like, yeah, I get it, before the other person even finishes the sentence. And it feels natural. It feels polite. It feels like you're building connection. But you're not. You're creating imbalance. Because every time you react too fast, you send a message without saying a word. That their words are setting the pace. That their energy is leading the interaction. And you are following. And people feel this instantly.
Not logically, but instinctively. Because in every interaction, there's a silent question being answered. Who is stable and who is adjusting? Who is grounded and who is reacting? And the person who reacts more automatically feels like they have less control. Not because they're weaker, but because they appear dependent on the moment. And dependency never looks powerful. That's why some people speak less, move less, react less, and still hold the entire room. It's not about dominance. It's about stability. And stability is felt before it's understood. But here's where it gets deeper. Most people think they're being a good listener. They think nodding more, reacting more, showing agreement makes them more likable. But what it actually does is make their presence lighter, less anchored, less defined. Because instead of holding their own frame, they keep stepping into someone else's. And the more you do that, the less people feel your presence in the conversation. You become responsive instead of directive. And over time, people stop seeing you as someone who leads and start seeing you as someone who adapts. That's the shift. It's subtle, but once it happens, it changes everything. You get interrupted more, questioned more, talked over more. Not because people disrespect you, but because you're not holding your position long enough to be felt. And here's the part almost no one talks about. This isn't just behavior, it's a reflex. Your brain is trying to reduce tension. It's trying to say, I agree, I'm safe, I'm not a threat. And in some situations, that works. But in any situation where presence matters, it backfires. Because authority isn't built by removing tension, it's built by holding it. And the moment you react too quickly, you release that tension. You collapse the moment. And once that happens, you lose control of the interaction. Think of it this way. Picture two people in a conversation. One reacts to every sentence, nodding, smiling, filling the silence. The other listens calmly, lets the space exist. Which one feels more confident? Which one do you instinctively want to hear more from? The answer is always the same. Because our instinct equates calm with competence, silence with security, stability with value. But this is where everything changes. Because once you become aware of this, you can interrupt the pattern. And the shift is simple, but uncomfortable. The next time someone is speaking, do less, not more. Hold your posture. Stay still. Let them finish completely. No early reactions, no automatic nodding, no filling the space. Just observe. At first, it will feel unnatural. You'll feel the urge to react, to show you understand, to signal agreement. But that urge is exactly what has been weakening your presence. And every time you resist it, something starts to shift. Your energy becomes more grounded. Your reactions become intentional. And your presence starts to feel heavier, more stable, more controlled. Then take it one step further. When the other person finishes speaking, don't respond immediately. Let the silence exist, just for a moment. That space is where perception changes. Because while most people rush to fill it, you stay composed inside it. And that alone separates you from almost everyone. Because now you're not reacting to the conversation. You're controlling the pace of it. And once you control the pace, you control the interaction.
Something even more subtle. Your voice. The way you speak. The rhythm you choose. The hesitation you don't even notice you have. Because you can master your body language completely, hold the silence perfectly, and still destroy your presence the moment you open your mouth. If you don't understand how your voice shapes the way people see you, everything you just learned will collapse the second you start speaking. And that's exactly what the next video covers. How your voice reveals insecurity without you noticing. How the right tone builds authority before the first word lands. And what to change first so people feel your presence before they process what you said. If this made sense to you, subscribe now. Because the next video is where most people finally understand why they feel invisible in important conversations and what to do about it.